Welcome back to the Hashira Chronicles, your ultimate video to the world of Demon Slayer. In this video, we descend into the labyrinth of shifting walls, impossible gravity, and eerie silence to uncover the secrets of Nakime, the mysterious demon behind the Infinity Castle, and the chilling battle she wages against the Love Hashira, Mitsuri Kanroji, and the Serpent Hashira, Obanai Iguro. What is the Infinity Castle? The Infinity Castle is more than just Muzan Kibutsuji's lair. It's a living nightmare. A dimension detached from reality, it doesn't follow the laws of nature. Gravity shifts unpredictably. Corridors stretch, spiral, or vanish. Stairs loop back on themselves. Rooms fold sideways like paper, and ceilings sometimes open up into skyless abysses. Time feels different here, not because it slows, but because the rules that govern time seem to flicker, uncertain. All of this madness is orchestrated by Nakime, the demon seated at its heart. Her blood demon art allows her to manipulate the very bones of the castle with nothing more than the sound of her biwa. A pluck of a string opens a door. A short melody flips a chamber. A rapid strum sends entire wings of the fortress into motion. She doesn't need to see you to stop you. She simply bends the space around you. Enemies don't just lose their footing, they lose all sense of direction. You could be sprinting forward and suddenly find yourself upside down, running toward the ceiling, only to be swallowed by a floor that wasn't there seconds ago. The Infinity Castle is a fortress, yes, but it is also a weapon, a maze, and a cage. It adapts, responds, and crushes threats before they ever get close. For Nakime, it is more than just a battlefield. It is an extension of her very being, her instrument of choice, her stage, her dominion. And within it, she is omnipotent. Who is Nakime? Before she became a demon of silence and control, Nakime was merely a woman with a biwa and a burden. As a musician, she struggled to find meaning in her life. Her husband, a compulsive gambler, drained their money, their dignity, and her spirit. He was violent, careless, and indifferent to her suffering. The day he smashed her only instrument in a drunken rage was the day she snapped. In that moment, she murdered him, not in cold blood, but in desperate heat. It should have destroyed her, but instead it awakened something dark and powerful. That night, she played a borrowed biwa with trembling fingers and produced the most haunting melody of her life. The tremors in her hands, once symptoms of anxiety and grief, now gave her rhythmic soul. The applause was thunderous. The attention was intoxicating. And so she continued. One death before each performance. One sacrifice for one transcendent moment. Murder became the price of her art. What horrified others only intrigued Muzan Kibutsuji. When he found her, she did not resist his offer of eternal life. She didn't question what she would become. She was calm, focused, entirely indifferent to morality. Unlike most demons, Nakime was not tempted by vengeance or fear of death. She was drawn to the idea of complete control. In Muzan's service, she found her ultimate expression. The Infinity Castle was her stage. The world became her instrument. She rose to the position of upper rank 4 without contest, not by bloodshed, but by utility. She did not have the flash of Doma or the rage of Akaza. She didn't need it. Her loyalty and precision were unmatched. Nakime didn't crave power for the sake of status. She craved structure. A space where every note she played reshaped reality. A space where nothing happened unless she willed it. Battle breakdown, Love and Serpent versus Nakime. When the Hashira launched their final assault against Muzan, they knew they had faced powerful demons. What they didn't expect was to fight the castle itself. Mitsuri Kanroji, the Love Hashira, charges in with the fury and elegance that defines her fighting style. Her whip-like sword slices through the air with speed and grace, but it never lands. Just as she attacks, the room shifts. Walls open. Floors vanish. She's struck not by claws, but by architecture. Her vibrant energy is lost in a maze she does not understand. Obanai Iguro, the Serpent Hashira, quickly realizes that something is wrong. This serpent breathing, designed for adaptive combat, is thrown off by the constant shifting of the environment. His strikes are redirected mid-motion. His positioning becomes meaningless. Even his trusted serpent companion, Kaburimaru, coils in confusion, unable to sense proper direction. And all the while, Nakime remains still. She doesn't move from her shadowy chamber. She doesn't draw a weapon. She doesn't speak. She simply plays. Every note alters the battlefield. Every subtle shift is a new trap. The Hashira are outmatched, not in strength, but in the rules of engagement. Obanai, ever perceptive, speaks through gritted teeth. We can't fight her like this. We are just guessing in her game. They were. And Nakime? She was not guessing at all. She was composing. The turning point, Yushiro's counterattack. Amidst the chaos, a different kind of warrior steps onto the battlefield. Yushiro, the demon companion of Tamayo. He doesn't wield a blade. He doesn't possess overwhelming strength. But he has something far more dangerous, insight. Where others rely on force, Yushiro sees patterns. Where the Hashira struggle to navigate a hostile maze, he sees a flawed system waiting to be cracked. His mind isn't distracted by rage or fear. It's fixed, calculating, precise. And in Nakame's relentless rhythm, he detects a flaw. Yushiro understands the key to Nakame's power, her eye. Her single, kanji-inscribed eye grants her dominion over the entire castle. Through it, she sees every movement, every enemy, every corner of her shifting realm. It's not just sight, it's control. Her eye is the lens through which she composes her fortress, each chamber folding or unfolding based on her will. Without it, her masterpiece collapses into confusion. Yushiro knows he can't outfight her, but he can blind her, turn her greatest strength into a fatal vulnerability. And Yushiro finds a way in. Using his blood demon art of visual manipulation, he creates talismans that corrupt Nakame's perception. He interferes with what she sees. Like a painter smearing ink across another artist's canvas, he warps the edges of her vision, scrambles her signals. Suddenly, the notes she plays summon chaos, but not the kind she controls. Rooms shift the wrong way. Floors collapse unexpectedly. Entire wings warp into empty voids, her biwa. Once a conductor's baton becomes a weapon of misdirection against herself. She plays harder, faster, but her song no longer obeys her. Nakime tries to adjust. Her playing grows more frantic, but the rhythm is broken. Her harmony with the castle is severed. Her fingers tremble. The music is discordant. The corridors lose their shape. Yushiro's sabotage is subtle but devastating, an unraveling of her reality in real time. And then the unthinkable happens. Muzan's inner sanctum is exposed. Sunlight creeps into the cracks. What was once protected by layers of shifting, invincible architecture becomes vulnerable. The place he believed was safe, protected by the most loyal demons, begins to crumble around him. Nakime is not defeated in combat. She's disconnected from her source. Her vision was her power. Yushiro turned it into her downfall. The genius of his attack is that it requires no violence. He dismantles her from within, like a virus in the system. She is not slain, she is undone. One sense taken away, and her whole kingdom follows. The Infinity Castle, which once bent to her will, now turns on her with no allegiance. And for a moment, even Muzan looks unsettled. Because if Nakime can fall, perhaps his fortress isn't as eternal as he believed. Legacy of Nakime. Nakime doesn't die with a scream. She does not shatter into pieces like many of her peers. She simply fades. Her biwa slips from her hands. Her hair disintegrates. Her form vanishes. And with her final breath, the Infinity Castle, her masterpiece, collapses. No fanfare, no grand final battle, just silence. But that silence echoes louder than most deaths, because Nakime redefined what it meant to be dangerous in the world of demons. She didn't kill with claws. She killed with disorientation, with space, with control. She showed that strength is not always physical, that domination can be quiet, that the deadliest enemy might never face you, only shift the world beneath your feet until you fall. Even now, the Hashira remember her. They remember the battle where their skills meant nothing, where breeding forms and blade techniques fell apart in midair, where the enemy never struck, yet almost won. Nakime wasn't just part of the Infinity Castle. She was the Infinity Castle, and now that she's gone, the silence she left behind is just as haunting as the music she once played. If Nakame's eerie presence and spatial domination fascinated you, then don't miss what comes next. Subscribe to the Hashira Chronicles for more lore-rich analysis, character breakdowns, and battle deep dives as we count down to the Infinity Castle movie. Stay tuned for part 2, where the shadows of the castle give way